So you were talking about basically the excitement of discovery, and you yourself, even with Nobel Prize, you still discover things, and I think your excitement of carbon is still present. Can you comment for young people why I think it's so important to play?
Well, I want to stress that the experiment that led to the Nobel Prize was actually not a very important experiment. It was interesting to me, and it was something that wasn't very, I mean, it was something that was interesting because I wanted to show that the chemistry in a star could produce large carbon molecules with long carbon chains, and I wasn't running around getting money to do this experiment, but when I accidentally or fortuitously visited Rice University, Bob Curl told me to go and see Rick Smalley, and he was doing some interesting stuff, and whilst he was doing this, I realized that his laser vaporization technique could produce a carbon vapor similar to that in a star, and so the whole experiment, a little one, not very exciting really, just to prove something that I was absolutely sure would happen. And so I suggested this, and I wasn't pressing. I said, well, we'll do it sometime.
You were playing.
Well, I was playing, but it was also interesting to me. I knew it wasn't interesting to anybody else. So I didn't push for it, and they were interested in this as a pilot experiment. And it was about a year and a half before we did the experiment. And that year and a half, this experiment had been carried out by 2 other groups in the intermediate time. But they'd missed something important. So when we came, we already seen their data, and we didn't really recognize what was going on. There was something interesting, and so when we did it, we had this big surprise that a molecule with the pattern of a football formed basically spontaneously, and that's the important aspect.
But a lot of people didn't believe it, I think.
Well, in fact, most of the people that were important in the cluster field didn't like it, and
but it's also important to emphasize.
And whereas people outside the field who were not really close, they thought it was interesting and a good idea. In fact, the referee said it's this. I don't know whether it's right, but it's a fun proposition, and when you make a discovery like this, I think you have to sort of make a proposal of why it's so strong, the signal. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but of course it's good to be right.